Hi everyone, it's Mich here, and welcome to my channel. If you're new, please, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you see and want to come back for more. And for all of my crafty friends and kindred spirits, thank you so much for hanging out with me again today. You guys really motivate me, and I'm just so thankful. So today's going to be another week in the Collage with Mich. This is a collage, little mini collage challenge that I put together some prompts in April. So we're on week 19 this week. If you did want to follow along, you can. I can email you the list of prompts, or you can join our Facebook group, which is Mich Crafty Community. I'll have all that information in the description box below. I'm doing the Rolodex and Memorydex and a postcard. A little ambitious. But there are others that are doing, Susan Gazway is doing some flashcards, and other people are just using the Rolodex, using postcards, using index cards, scrapbooks, and anything's fine. It's your collage. I just had been wanting to do a Rolodex thing for quite a long time, and in looking up sort of Rolodex ideas, I came across the Memorydex, and I kind of thought, well, I really loved both of them and wanted to do different styles. I sometimes envy people who purely do kind of vintage, grungy stuff, or those who purely do a cleaner type of style. With me, it's always been just everything. So I sometimes think in my brain it'd be easier if I could just focus on one stream. But anyways, I am what I am. And today, week 19, the word is brave, and the prompt is aperture. So aperture basically is just a window or a hole. So a camera has an aperture, and Winnie the Pooh gets stuck in rabbit hole, that's an aperture. So any kind of way you want to interpret that. Right. Before I start though, I just wanted to show just some other cards that we've done so far during the weeks. These are the Rolodex ones. So there's just all kinds of different, well, I was going to say styles, but I try to keep these ones, of a certain look. And then for the Memorydex, I have ones that are sort of a little bit cleaner style, and like I said, I really love them both. The prompt was, I forget what the actual word was, but the prompt was file folder. That is so then here's just some other the Rolodex ones. They are all a video in the playlist below. I think the playlist it says Rolodex. That's one of my favorite ones. It's all glittery. I love this one too. And then for some postcards that will be mailed out probably in September. So today is, I keep holding on to this one because it's one of my favorites. I might have to do a duplicate of that one. That was when we were doing the tag one and the pockets. Love that. Tags, I think, was that one. Love that one too. So there's just some ideas of the postcards, and those will all be sent out in Happy Mail. If you are a regular on my channel and you want some Happy Mail and don't already have your address, then please email me with your details, and I can add you to the list. So for the postcard, I've already gone ahead and put on a background paper. This was just from one of Miriam's background books. Here I cut this out with a die, and then I just glued on this. It's just a very thin paper, and I just glued it on top of the card. And then with my Rolodex, I've already gone ahead and found some vintage scrapbook paper. Really, those old scrapbooks that we used to have when we were in kindergarten. I see there's a bubble there, but it doesn't matter. So that's what I'm starting out with. I then went ahead and just grabbed some stencils. I just got these off of, I think it was Amazon, and it came in a packet of different ones. I think I over the years have got a couple kits of them. It struck me funny, not funny, but it made me think. A while ago, I received a comment about somebody saying they love all the little bits and bobs that I use, and I used to say that to other people, and it's just taken me a long time, you know, due to budget and whatever, that I've just collected the bits that I have. I'm trying to think of what's on here for my background. Oh yeah, it's the... And I've kind of concentrated a little bit on fall type theme. Maybe I'll use that. Because we are getting into the fall, at least here in Nova Scotia. I'm in Nova Scotia, Canada. And oh my, so this is Saturday. And this is going to come out on Wednesday. So I've pretty much caught up. I had just done a few ahead of time. A few videos ahead of time. So... with us going away and doing things, and the summer's coming to an end. I can't even believe that I'm saying that. So I'm just going to use a little bit of frayed burlap and just gently put a few things in the background here, just to give it, just to have something, and then I will distress this one. But it's so dry here in Nova Scotia right now. We usually get quite a bit of rain, and I know a lot of summers probably we've said, oh my gosh, it's been such a rainy summer. You don't even feel like we've had a summer. There's been so much rain. So we typically do go through a little bit of a dry spell, but not for as long as what's happening now. And where I live, we actually had a forest fire on Monday, which was really scary. So there's acres and acres. But now in Nova Scotia, I think last night I was watching the news, and I don't like to watch the news. I find the news is just very depressing. But I did watch it last night, and we have something like 11 forest fires burning. So, and I know we're not alone. You down in the States, you know, you have that risk too. And right across Canada, there's stuff going on. So I just pray every night that we get rain, because we need some rain. Okay, so for this one here, I don't even think I'm going to put any stenciling on that one. And then on this one, I just want to put a little bit of these little swirls and stuff. It's just to add, and I don't want to do it dark at all. Okay. I keep out my most used ones in a little pot, and I will just, those distressed oxides wash so easy that I'll just run that underneath the tap and they'll be clean. All right, so then I just want it to do a little bit of stamping. So I've pulled out a few of my stamps, and of course I'm going to use a couple little coffee, but I wanted to use some of these little words. I know there's some words already in the background on that one. Now I am going to put some washi down towards the bottom, so. All right, I just want to make sure that's right side up. Yeah. And I sometimes don't put it on a block if I just want to do some spot words. Okay, and then I think I want to change my text on this one and just put this one down. This one starts out, a prayer is at its heart the expression of love and sharing, which is true. Whether it's whatever kind of love that is. And I wanted to get my prayer down on this today. That'll be my prayer card for today. Okay, so we've got some words down. Now, I just want to do a couple little coffee stains. As a matter of fact, I think I'll use this one here. I got this stamp off Amazon the other day. It's really the foam stamps, but so I've got this little one here, and I'm going to use some of the Distress Oxide. So I'm going to stamp off a little bit and just have that kind of in the background so that you can barely see it. Like so, you can hardly see that, but it does pick up. Kind of like those stamping to be kind of off in the background so that you can, your eye picks up the interest, but not necessarily what all the images are. Okay, and then nose is itchy. Rubbing my nose. I would like to have, I was thinking I might like to have some numbers, but I think that's good. I definitely don't want anything more on that one. And then here's a few numbers here. So I think I will get some numbers down in the background. Okay, and then a few numbers kind of. Okay, so I just noticed that the video had cut out, and I had restarted it again, and then I looked up and, oh, it's not recording, and realized that pretty much the whole video didn't record except for the background of where we just stopped. So I'm just going to quickly go over the cards. So with the Rolodex one, so we've done the background. This is the finished card, okay? And then what I used, Be Scared and Do It Anyway, is just some stickers that I had. So I had this butterfly, just a butterfly sticker, a little doily, but the doily actually had an aperture, like a hole in the center, which you really can't see that much now. But I have one of these doilies kind of in the background. And then my other aperture was, I wanted to use something different besides a frame, so I just used one of the film negatives, which has the apertures, the little sections with the apertures. So that's kind of where that one was. And then I had used one of these flowers for another project, and I had cut in half, and that's what I put down initially there. So basically the doily with the aperture went down, and then the half flower, which I cut out the thingies, and then my other little aperture there, my butterfly, and then I put a couple rivets. So that's kind of my Rolodex card. And I had said some really interesting things, but now you're not going to hear it. And then for the postcard, this is the finished postcard. And we've done the background. I then put 3 different washies down on the bottom. So there's like a little tan one there, my little polka dot one, and then a ruler goes along there. And then the images, I'm doing a fall little junk journal, which I'm not sure what. Well, I'm still working on it. But anyways, I've got to kind of fall on the mind, so I've been playing with that. And I have these images that I got in a DigiKit. So there's a bunch of just different ones. And I'll try to remember to put in the information in the bottom. I often forget that. But for my Aperture, I just had a frame. I have a bunch of frames here. So I chose this frame that you kind of see in the background there. And then I just picked out my images and made a little collage. So that's going to go out to somebody. And sorry we missed the chatter. So then I'm on to my Memorydex. So with the Memorydex, we'd already done the background. I then just took a few different washies that I felt would match my little die cut here. So, oops, with the die cut, I had just a little kit with the flowers and the butterfly. And these are already cut die cuts with some gold embossing. And I have an actual metal die cut that I have as a viewfinder. And I considered just using a black background there, but I just felt it was, I didn't like it. And because it was gold embossing in my images, I just went to some of my scrap paper, and this is a gold glitter, and just backed that onto the glittery paper, which I really love. And then I had just a little round sticker that I put in the middle, but after I did it, you could very much just doodle that yourself for that. And that's kind of where I stopped when I noticed, oh gosh, how come we're not filming? But I was saying that we've had a lot of wildfires, and there was the threat that I might have had to be evacuated on Monday. But thankfully, and we just desperately need rain. So this one here, these are stickers, these die cuts. But I put one edge up on a foam dot so that it kind of is going to look like, and excuse my head if my head gets in the way, it's going to look like it's elevated a little bit, like so. I really love that. Now I need a little something in the center there. And I could just do, I could do one of these. And these are kind of, let me try this. Let me find my pokey tool. Let's see. Those are too skinny. And I think those are too pink. What about this? This is kind of like a purpley color. No. I'd like it just to be a big, white, clear one in the middle there. So we'll be heading off to Cape Breton. Here, what about this one? It kind of matches. It kind of blends in. Oh yeah, I like that. Like so. It kind of blends in with the gold kind of backgrounds. And I had already put a few rivets there, but I wanted to kind of dot some around the paper. And I don't know where my pokey tool, oh there it is. So yeah, I'm bummed out now because I had gone through all that and we'd had a nice chat. And now we've lost it. Let's try this one here. I find those hard to pick up just with my fingers. So if we just dot some around, and then those are the collages. I got the Fantastic Happy Mail. Sorry, I'm just trying to concentrate and getting that up there. I hope the rest of the day doesn't go as frustrating as this morning has been already. I've got to clean out Chester's litter box. I need to really clean it out with soap and water and stuff. And just got all kinds of little chores to do today. So what if I just put it in there? Okay, so there's my Memorydex card. I'm kind of thinking this is a little bit too dark for what I like, but what I might do off camera is just find another, like a wee little strip of something to go on the bottom. In saying that, I'm really not going to see the bottom once it gets into the things, the rungs, when I figure out what I'm going to do about that. But yeah, I really love that. I think that's pretty. And of course, I really love those two things that you didn't get the commentary. But I don't know if I did say it already, But I got some really fantastic happy mail this week from Mel. Oh my gosh. When I went to the post office and picked up my little parcel, I had some really happy mail from Mel. She made me a little card, which I absolutely love. And then a little book of little die cuts, which I could use. Actually, there's little frames and... Oh yeah, I could use some images from this one already. Oh, and I like the little faux hardware. Oh, that'll come in handy. I got a little. She lives in Winnipeg, and Winnie the Pooh's name came from Winnipeg. Winnie the Bear, and I plan on doing a Pooh journal at some point. And I just thought, how fantastic to put this in my Pooh journal. So I loved that. This here is a vintage bookmark, which I've never even seen this kind of thing. It is a stitch and mark. So it's really glittery. I don't know if you can pick that up underneath there. But it actually has in the lace a strip of Aida cloth where I could do some little cross stitch. Not sure if it would hold up to it. Oh yeah. So I'm kind of thinking that for one of my winter projects, just design a little cross stitch to go in that little bookmark. But isn't that fantastic? And then I felt something hard at the bottom of the envelope. And when I pulled it out, it was this. I cannot even believe it. It's the Nurse's Dictionary. So for those of you who don't know, I am a nurse. And it came from the UK. Honor Morton, it looks like. It was compiled by. And it's from 1896. So it's well over 100 years old. And I cannot believe it. Of course, I'm never going to alter it in any way. But what I might do is scan a couple of the pages. Scan some of the pages and use the pages for my scanned images for different things. So thank you so much, Mel, for thinking about me. It's just extra special. As are all of you, whether you send me a postcard or, happier mail, items, I love you all. So, but that's it for today. I do hope you picked up something from the video. Sorry, that it was cut out, but until we meet again, I do hope you stay safe and well, and bye for now.